Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to talk about something that I think hits home for pretty much every clinician out there, and that's the huge, glaring gap in OT education. I mean, you were taught, down to the tiniest detail, how to make treatment plans for patients. But what about a treatment plan for your own money? Let's dive in. This quote, man, it just says it all, right? Your entire education, all those late night studying, they were all focused on one thing, treating other people. And it left out the one patient you're going to have for your entire life, your own financial future. So this explainer is all about finally bridging that gap.
Okay, first things first, let's get something straight. You are brilliant at what you do. The skills you learned in school are literally life-changing for people. But that intense, laser-like focus on clinical care is exactly what creates this financial blind spot.
So on one hand, you see all the things you absolutely mastered. Anatomy, clinical reasoning, this is the language of your profession, and you speak it fluently. But then look at the other side. That's the language of financial security. We're talking about tax-free income in retirement, guaranteed paychecks that feel like a pension, and using cash value to fund your biggest life goals. You weren't taught this language. And let's be super clear about this, that is not on you. It's not a personal failure. It is a systemic gap in how we train our healthcare pros. This is really the heart of the issue. You were trained to be an expert on the human body, not on a balance sheet. And that's noble. It's what makes you great at your job. But it also leaves you kind of vulnerable to some really common financial traps. Remember, the curriculum was designed this way. It's not a reflection of your ability at all. So what happens when you don't have a financial roadmap? Well, most of us just fall back on the default plan, right? The one everyone talks about. But as we're about to see, that strategy, it's less of a plan and a whole lot more of a gamble. This puts it so perfectly. That common advice you always hear, just put money in your 401k and hope for the best, that's not a plan, it's a wish. It's basically crossing your fingers and hoping the market goes up forever, hoping your taxes don't skyrocket when you retire, and hoping it all just, works out.
And this hope strategy, it leads to some pretty serious traps. You end up putting all your faith in a 401k that's completely exposed to every single dip and crash in the market. You have zero idea what Social Security is actually going to look like in 20 or 30 years. And it all creates a retirement built around that anxious question of, what if I run out of money? Instead of the confident statement, I know when I'll retire because my plan is secure.
Okay, so that's the problem. It's a big one. But now let's pivot to the solution. And we're going to frame it in a way you, as a clinician, understand better than anyone, as a simple, two-part financial prescription to fix the gaps your school left behind. This is the big mindset shift. It's about taking that same meticulous, evidence-based, goal-oriented approach you use with your patients every single day and turning it onto your own finances. You're already an expert planner and an expert at execution. You just need the right tools for this specific job. Now, one of the most powerful tools in this prescription is something called Indexed Universal Life, or IUL for short. Think of it as a special kind of savings and growth account, but with a critical safety net. Your cash grows based on how a market index, like the S&P 500, performs, so you get to capture a lot of that upside. But, and this is the key, it also has a 0% floor. That means if the market crashes, you don't lose a dime of your principal. It's growth potential, but with protection. And you can often access that cash tax-free down the road.
The second tool is the Fixed Indexed Annuity, or FIA. Now, if the IUL is your growth tool, think of the FIA as your security tool. It is designed for one thing and one thing only, certainty. You can put a portion of your savings into it, and in return, an insurance company gives you a contractual guarantee, a promise, to pay you an income for the rest of your life, no matter how long you live. It's literally how you can build your own private pension that you own and control.
Okay, so theory is great, but let's make this real. Let's actually run the numbers on a simple, pretty manageable scenario, just so you can see the real-world power of this kind of two-part strategy. We're going to start with just $500 a month. Now, for many clinicians, that's doable. Maybe it's the pay from one extra shift a month, or just a few small tweaks to the budget.
The whole point is to show you what's possible with a consistent habit that doesn't feel impossible. All right, let's look at the power of just being consistent. Now, these are just hypothetical illustrations, of course. Results are never guaranteed. We're using a pretty conservative 6% average rate for the IUL and 4% for the FIA. So after 20 years of saving that $500 a month, the IUL could grow to over $230,000. But look at that third bar. That's where the magic really happens. When you give it just one more decade, the power of compounding just takes off. So, by just applying this financial prescription consistently over the course of a career, that simple habit of tucking away $500 a month, well, it could build into something truly, truly life-changing. After 30 years, it could become over $500,000. Just think about that for a second. That's a life-changing amount of cash, grown from a manageable habit, all while being protected from those scary market downturns and giving you tax-advantaged access along the way. So what does $500,000 actually do for you? It buys you options. It gives you freedom. This isn't just a number on a statement. It's the ability to pay for your kids' college education without debt. It's the down payment on your dream house. It's the capital to finally start your own practice. It is control over your own life. Okay, so you've seen the problem, you've seen a potential solution. The last step, and I think the most important one, is to go from this general idea to a specific blueprint that is designed for you. This is the only question that really matters now. Are you ready to trade in that wishful thinking we talked about earlier for a real concrete strategy? Are you ready to stop gambling with your future and start building it brick by brick with intention? If the answer is yes, then here's your clear path forward. You can book a totally complimentary retiring solution session. In that session, we do 3 things. First, we get you clarity by running your real numbers and figuring out your personal financial independence number. Second, we show you your potential with a personalized illustration so you can see how these tools could work for your timeline. And third, you leave with a plan, a custom strategy that you are in control of. The link to book that complimentary, no-obligation session is right there in the description below. This is your first real step toward taking back control and finally applying that clinical rigor to your own financial health. Go ahead, click the link, and schedule your session. I'm just going to leave you with this one last thought. Your entire career is built on the incredible foundation of care that you give to other people every single day. It is time to give that same level of intentional, dedicated care to the one person who deserves it most, the future you. Thanks so much for joining us on The Explainer.